Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Good Enough Customs. Kind of a weird start off on this one. I literally just climbed out of bed like 30 minutes ago. We got storms rolling in the area today. And Jackson wakes me up about 5:30 this morning. He's wrestling, and they had a meet today, and so he wakes me up at 5:30 this morning. He's like, hey, I got a flat. I tried to drive to school on it, and the tire's all the way off the wheel now. You did what? So this is what we're left with at the moment. I tell you what. Anyways, so I figured I'd start off this video this morning, try to get this, just see if I can get this stupid tire back on the bead. These tires on the back, they're the tires that came off my dad's van. They're pretty weak in the sidewall. They're not real stout on the sidewall. So, you know, they'll roll off the bead pretty easy. So I figured we can jack this guy up, get the weight off the tire, make sure it's still at least on the back, on the bead on the backside. And as long as it is, then we should be all right. Heck, even if it isn't, we might be able to get it to seat anyway. So, so we're gonna do that real quick. But then I've got to hurry up, go in and get a shower and get all cleaned up and ready to go, because today is also the C10 Club of Tennessee's annual Christmas toy drive, which we're having up in Lebanon. So it's, you know, it's an hour plus drive for me. So I figure I'd get myself spit shined up a little bit and head on out here in just a little bit. But I really kind of need to take care of Harvey first. So so that's what we're gonna get to. And I'm gonna get the jack on this thing and catch up with you here in just a moment. Loudest noise known to man. So I don't know how many of y'all have ever tried to use brake clean as a tire mounting tool. But little goes a long way. You don't want to overdo it, because if you overdo it, bad things happen. All right. Well, we're seated on the bead now. All right, that was easy peasy. So, yeah, that if you ever want to save a few bucks and get a really, really good workout, you know, try mounting your own tires without any tools, except for like a couple of big screwdrivers. And that's how you get them to mount, is, you know, throw a little brake clean in there, light her up, she'll hop right on the bead. All right, well, the rain and the storms that I'm worried about, they're over there. So looks like it's fixing to get a little sporty out here. So before I go inside, I'm just going to check all the air pressure real quick, because you know how teenagers are. You constantly say, hey, check them tires, and they're like, no, I'll do it later. Later never comes. So yeah, I'll check his air pressure, throw a little air in these tires, just so we don't have another 5 in the morning wake up call, because Jackson's got a wrestling tournament and everybody's still asleep and his truck's, you know, not mobile. So so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go get ready, and I'll catch up with y'all folks at the toy drive. All right, folks, out here at out in Lebanon at the Wilson County Fairgrounds is where we're doing our annual C10 Club of Tennessee toy drive. And I actually drove the daily today, mainly because, you know, it looks like this out. And Big John's starter's going out, and Steve's fuel pump's going down, as well as Steve has, you know, bald tires in the back. I don't know why they're bald, but so we do this every year. Basically just bring some toys to donate to less fortunate families. It's a good time. Usually there's a pretty good turnout. I think the weather's kind of holding a lot of people off this year. A lot of folks end up bringing their old trucks and everything, and it's not a very big crowd, like I said. I mean, we're just got basically over here and over here, and then that. There's 3 or 4 of them missing right now because they headed out to go grab some lunch real fast. We do have a taco truck here, but I guess they weren't in the mood for tacos. So here in a few minutes I'll walk inside, and you know, you can kind of see the pile of loot that we got for the toy donations. We also do a silent auction where we have different people that donate items and things like that, and you can walk around and put bids on it and all that fun stuff. So we do have a silent auction going on. There's a couple good things going on. I'm only bidding on one thing this year. Usually I bid on 3 or 4, but there's one big item I'm like, hey, if I can get it, that'd be awesome. But it's a pretty spendy piece, and I don't know if I've got the pocketbook to get it. So but we'll find out here in about 2 hours. So so anyhow, all right, well, I think I'll walk back inside here in just a minute and show y'all guys around a little bit. Probably won't do any audio while I'm recording because there's a lot of folks in there chit-chatting, you know, catching up, talking, and all that fun stuff. So I'll just kind of give y'all a quick walk around. We'll touch base again once I guess once the auction's over. So yeah, I guess we'll see you then. Well, ended up not winning anything on the silent auction. You know, I was only bidding on one thing. Usually I bid on 3 or 4 things. I didn't really see 3 or 4 things that I really wanted to bid on, so I just put kind of all my money on one part. Which would have been a cool part. I wasn't like dying for it or anything, but it was a I think it was 10 Works Fabrication. They're frame stiffeners for the C10. So I think those things are like $1,500, something like that. And you know, they had donated one to the silent auction, and I threw my money down. I was just like, yeah, that's top dollar I'm willing to spend. And somebody beat me by about $200. So I was like, yeah, no. So that pretty much wraps it up for the C10 of Tennessee toy drive for 2023. I think it's a pretty good turnout. I think the weather kind of scared a lot of people off. Usually there's a lot more folks that show up, but yeah, I think the weather kind of ran a lot of folks off this year. So anyhow, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna head back to the house and get working on something. So we'll see y'all there. All right, folks, 1 week later. So after the toy drive, which was up in Lebanon, Jackson actually had a wrestling tournament, you know, that he was up early for, and it was actually halfway between Lebanon and home. So figured, you know, I haven't really made it out to these things, so I'll stop in and check it out. So ended up spending most of the rest of last Saturday at a tournament. It was great. Jackson went 2-2, so not too terribly bad. Doing pretty good for only wrestling for a couple months now, but had a really good time there. And then that following day, the Sunday, there was so much stuff I had to do that I didn't have time to get out here. So I did have time to get out here today, the following Saturday. So so here we are. Got little John, yeah, yay, ready to go. So I think today we're going to try dropping this transmission out. So in order to do that, got to pull the drive shaft, pull the trans. The whole point of this is there's something going on with the clutch that is not good. So I figured best way to do it is pull the trans. I've never really worked on manual trans before, so this is all new to me. Completely running blind here. So I figure we'll get up underneath here, pull the drive shaft out. Maybe even go ahead and loosen up the transmission mount, get that loosened up a little bit, dig out my transmission jack, and yeah, let's see where this takes us. So I guess I'm gonna get all my tools and crap together, and I'll see y'all guys down there. All right, well, first step is getting the shifter broke loose. So I went ahead and pulled the boot off. It's just 4 screws that hold it in. Got that pulled off, and then we've got the shifter itself. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better. Got the shifter itself right here that comes out of the top of the trans. I did not, let me see if I can't get this light set in a better spot. There we go. Like I said, don't know anything about these, so I ended up having to look it up. And come to find out that these are like super easy to get the shifter out. Well, I say that. They're easy enough, I guess I should say. So from what I was seeing, basically you push this down and turn it counterclockwise just a little bit, and it's just got a couple of hooks on it. I don't know if I'll be able to do that here with one hand. Oh, there we go. So I got that down. And then this little collar comes up, and yeah, that's how you hold. That's what retains the shifter in. So you can see there's the action on it. It's just a little simple little hook thing. You got these little roll pins here on the sides. That's what that guy hooks into. And then once you get that on there, you just grab your shifter, give her a little wiggle and a tug. Wait.
That's what she said.
And she pops right out. So pretty easy, nothing too terrible there. Now, so one thing I noticed earlier whenever I was getting this boot off is this transmission moves a lot, and I'm wondering if that's not part of the problem. I mean, the whole damn thing's moving. So maybe it's not a clutch problem. Maybe it's not anything major. I'm still going to go underneath it and take a look and see what's going on there. But if the whole transmission's moving around, then something's probably broke or doesn't have a bolt in it. Lord only knows. I would prefer to not pull the trans if I don't have to. So what we'll probably do for now is I'll go ahead, slide up underneath this guy, take a peek around underneath it, and see if there's anything very obvious that's broken or not connected or just a bolt missing or whatever. See if I can't figure that part out. And if it's something that's maybe there's just an issue with the trans, where literally there's just something going on externally that I don't have to pull the trans, I'm not going to pull the trans. So we'll see what's going on underneath it. If it's something quick and easy that looks like it might fix the whole problem, then we'll give it a shot, see if we can't get her fixed up. And then I've got my temporary fuel system I can hook back up. We can fire this thing back off. And it's on jack stands, so I can put it in gear, row through the gears if need be, and see what we got there. So, all right, I guess I'll be up underneath the truck next. All right, so up underneath Little John, and yeah, she's pretty grimy under here. I remember looking and poking my head under here. It's a little on the grimy side. So first thing I noticed looking from the back towards the front is our trans mount, our rear mount, is just kind of falling apart. It's not centered. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be or what, but I mean, my center line's like right here. So I can pull back a little bit. Center line's right here for the output of the trans, and then about right here is where my center line is on the trans mount. Also, already pulled that piece, and that piece out where they were just up here, so I pulled those guys out. So while I was down here looking, yeah, bell housing bolt's missing. Let's see if I can get pulled back up here. Yeah, there's the other bell housing bolt. There's a lot of daylight there, so that's, you know, that's never good. I haven't been on the driver's side of it yet to look over there, so let's do that. Yeah, missing that bell housing bolt, and that could be the problem. 1 out of 4 ain't bad. Maybe that's actually more like 3/4 out of 4. So yeah, that could be a problem, because now things aren't lined up where they should be. Hang on, let me slide out. So that might be an issue. Yeah, things you know, that require 4 bolts to hold in, namely a, you know, I don't remember how much they said these SM465. I don't remember how much they say these transmissions weigh, but I know it was not light. It's 250-ish, something. It's like cast iron case, you know, all the guts. Yeah, they're heavy. There's 1 bolt halfway threaded that's holding the whole damn transmission in, and then a totally busted rear trans mount. So my guess is it has, you know, obviously there's a gap, especially on this driver's side. There's a gap there between the bell housing and the transmission. So my guess is just having it, you know, started, running, seeing if it would pull, doing all that. It's just shook its way back. And so now that trans just isn't engaging, or it's gotten, you know, off kilter. So honestly, I don't know at this point if I need to go ahead and pull the trans, pull the clutch, get everything lined back up. I would think that the clutch and everything should still be okay, but I don't know. So I'm going to phone a friend. Because, you know, that's what you do when you don't know. You go to the internet or you call a friend. So I'm going to call a friend and just ask him a couple questions and see what he thinks, you know, best course of action is. Do I go ahead and just pull the trans, pull everything loose, and then reset everything, check the clutch, check the flywheel, or if I just, you know, say screw it, get a couple bolts in there, send it home, and see what this thing does. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll be right back. So consulted with my buddy Philip, and he was like, you know, what's the worst could happen if you just go ahead and bolt the trans back up where it's supposed to be? It works. He's like, it take you 10 minutes, put the bolts in it, get it cinched back up where it belongs. Maybe you ain't got to pull the whole thing down. Maybe you do. You don't know. But, you know, it's worth a shot. So, ran to a hardware store, picked up some bolts, because I only had one. Only had double the amount that's already currently in that transmission. But, so I ran, picked up some bolts. Figure I'd go ahead and get this guy bolted up, cranked down, and damn it, now I got to replumb the fuel stuff and make sure it's clear, and see if we can't get this sucker started again, and row it through the gears, see if clutch and things are doing clutch and things. So all right, I'm gonna get my stuff together, get underneath the truck, and we'll catch back up down there. All right, so went and picked up some bolts. These are half what is it, 1/2 by 13 thread. And I'm hoping that these will work and I can get my ratchet in here. And it looks like I'm gonna have to go get an adapter. I just remembered I got myself a present for Christmas. I got some flex head ratcheting wrenches. So I guess I can use these. Maybe in certain places, maybe not so much up here. Nope, too big for up there. This guy is going to be a pain in the ass. All right, grab my little stubby. A little easier to maneuver around. These guys are just touching. I don't want to tighten them up all the way because I still got to get the other side bolts in. So let's go over there and do those. So this guy is actually, the transmission is up a little bit. So I need to rotate it slightly in order to get the bolts in, because right now it's just running into a wall. So let's see if I can't get this little screwdriver in there. That one appears as though it grabbed. All right, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on the other side. We are bolted up. So I guess now I need to figure out, get the fuel system figured out again. And we'll fire this guy up and see if the clutch actually, you know, works. So I guess I'll do that and I'll be back. All right, got the shifter back in. Ended up just pulling the boot off because it was just easier to see. I've actually been fighting with that thing for probably a good half hour, trying to figure out why it won't go into gear. Turns out that I didn't pull the shifter out with it actually in neutral. Apparently the transmission was in reverse. So finally got that sorted out. Took a long screwdriver, got over, kicked the reverse gear back. Now we're neutral, we got all the gears again. So I guess at this point, already kind of plumbed up the fuel system. Just need to hook the positive back up on the battery, and I guess go ahead and hook up the fuel pump for the fuel system, and we can fire this guy. And then we can find out if we actually have, you know, gears. I guess I probably ought to open up the garage door and turn off my heater. So yeah, I'll get everything else finished and set up, and I'll be right back. Oh, as you can tell by the sound of the fuel pump, it is running. So let's see what you do. Almost there. Well, I wasn't saying much because I was loud, but it does shift through the gears. So I was able to shift, hang on a second, cut off my fuel supply. So I was able to shift first and second, and they shifted okay, it seemed, at least, you know, on the jack stands. I was actually looking out the mirror over there, looking at the wheel, and I could see it turning and speeding up. And then once I got the speed maybe a little too high for jack stands, the whole truck started kind of shaking. So I think we're good. So yeah, I ain't pulling a damn transmission. The hell with that. Yes. I can't say how excited I am that this thing actually goes through the gears and the clutch actually works. I was not looking forward to doing that, mainly not because I'm afraid of learning new things, but not by any stretch. Constantly learning new things, but I was more just worried about me being solo handling that ginormous heavy ass 465 trans. They're heavy. So I guess let me unhook my power here. So I guess really next thing I need to do on this truck is go back underneath it, pull those bolts that I just put in there, pull them loose, and I'll put just a little bit of thread lock on there, so that way we don't have to worry about them backing out and you know, losing 3 out of 4 bolts again. All right, so what's left on this guy? Well, we've got to address the rear brakes. I haven't looked at those at all, so I've got to get in there, pull the wheels, check the rear brakes out, make sure, you know, they're in good shape. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess they're probably okay. You know, drum brakes tend to, you know, last quite a while. You know, worst case, we're just going to have to bleed this guy out because I know we had a lot of trash and really nasty brake juice, brake fluid coming out of that master cylinder. So worst case, we'll have to bleed the rear brakes out really good. I'll need a second body for that, and I don't have anybody here right now to do that. But so yeah, worst case, we'll bleed them out, make sure they're all right. I've got to get these shocks swapped out. These guys, to be honest, I forgot about them. And then while I was up underneath there looking at the transmission, oh yeah, I forgot I got to put the shocks. I think they're up there on that shelf, but I'll hunt those down another time. Let's see, got to get that. I got to get the fuel system sorted out, figure out what's going on with the fuel tank. If one of them's good, both of them's good, both of them's bad. So I got to figure out fuel tank situation. Get that sorted out. I got to put a fuel pump on this guy, and we got to put a carburetor or rebuild this carburetor. So fuel system still kind of needs a complete overhaul. I think that's about it. No, wait, I got the Hydro Boost. Oh yeah. You might be asking, why haven't you worked on the Hydro Boost? Well, the problem is the truck is up in the air and it is, you know, chest high. And I'd have to be basically standing on a bench the whole time, bent over and really just struggling to get in there, you know. It gets old bending over these things. So I figure I'll address that pump once I get this thing back on the ground. So I'm pretty sure it's the pump is failed because I filled it up with fluid. It's bone dry again. It doesn't have anything in it. Now, granted, I don't have any, you know, leaks, so maybe I'll fill it up again. I don't know. But we'll troubleshoot that guy down the road. I'm not too terribly worried about him right now. Yeah, still got a monkey with the Hydro Boost and rear brakes, fuel system, and the exhaust. Got to get that finished up. So there's still quite a bit of work to do on this guy, but it's nothing huge. The big things are done, being that I have a clutch, I have a transmission, I have front brakes that were completely locked up before. So, and we know the motor runs. I do have to change the oil, probably do a tune-up on it with plugs and wires and whatnot. So plenty of stuff left to do on Little John, and hopefully we can get him on the road here before long and get him out of the shop. And then we can get back to this guy. I know I keep saying that. You ever get those projects that you're just like, I don't want to, I'm over it. Can you not just be done? Yeah, that's kind of what the K5's turned into. But we'll get back to it here before long. So since we now know where we're at with Lil John and we know kind of what's going on here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I know it's a little shorter than most, but you know, it's that time of year, folks. There's just a lot going on. So, so I'm going to wrap this one up. If you don't follow me on social media, I don't post a ton. I do post occasionally. My social media info is down below in the description. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, just drop a comment down below. I do read them all. I may or may not get back to you really quick. Just depends on how busy I am at the time. And if you like the video, be sure and hit the like button. And if you've been watching and you ain't subscribing, why not? It grows the channel. It helps out. Just hit the little subscribe button down below. Helps everybody out. So thanks again for watching, and look forward to seeing y'all guys next time. And just remember, folks, it ain't got to be perfect. Just good enough. And we'll see y'all next time.